Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Kinda Hot, Kinda Healthy. This is going to be an extended cut exclusive for YouTube. So, if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, wherever the hell you're listening, you'll notice it's a little bit of a shorter episode. But the juice is on the YouTube. So, Kinda Hot, Kinda Healthy podcast. We'll link it below. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe. What I just said, follow us on YouTube like a boomer. Um,
Same thing.
subscribe, do the things, and the extended cut will be over there. We also have bonus episodes over there. So, like, if you're not on YouTube, you're missing out on a lot of us, the yapping, the knowledge, the essence, the being, the connectedness. And when I say connectedness, and Maddie and I, we never wear hats. We both show up wearing hats. So, what the hell's up
I
with that?
know.
That's
This was this my this might not be my first time ever wearing a hat, is it? On podcast?
barely that, like, we never do. Like,
I know.
let's,
That's that is
it's, we were feeling it in our intuit. I have two hats. Okay, go to YouTube. Ready? Oh, I'm not out of frame.
uh,
All right, I'm back in frame.
oh, I do like the pink one. I'm a
I have
sucker
two
for the pink
hats.
one.
So I got them at Bass Pro Shop, and one of my friends was like, it's giving conservative girl. And I was like, no, don't say that. Um, but I got two hats. They were buy two, get one free. So I got two, of course, and James got one, and of course he paid for it because I have no business paying for things. But yeah, I have my cute hats. So I had to wear one, and you are wearing your favorite hat that you should just steal.
Yes. You know what's funny? I have never liked trucker hats because maybe it's because like my face. I felt like I've
Yeah.
always had to have it narrow and like
Yeah, I
it
have a
looks good
big
on you though.
head. So sometimes
Um,
I feel like hats like yours, again, guys, go to
uh-huh.
YouTube. Hats like yours sometimes make my head look way bigger because like they're ultra curved, but like I have a dome. I have a big ass
Yeah,
head.
you do look like you have a big head. Like it fits.
It's giving fat head.
It fits your head though. Like it looks symmetrical.
Proportional? Thanks. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you could lie, and also if it doesn't, there's nothing I can do about it. So just keep lying. But
No, it looks good.
2 points. My dad always calls me fathead, like if he's like annoyed with me, he'll be like, ah, fathead, blah, blah, blah. And I'm always like, okay, that's
Weird.
weird. Boomer. I don't think he knows it's
Literally
not
though.
the nicest thing. Like he could probably say, worse things, but fathead, Alice, oh, she's a fathead. It's kind of like you're just an asshole, but it's a nice way of saying it. So that's part one. Part two, I actually did get stuck in the birth canal because my head was so large.
I didn't know that.
Forceps. Forceps. My
So did
head
you
was
come
like
out and your head
dented.
was all like
My mom said I looked insane. She was like, that is my baby, but you are so, like, my head looked
oh.
deformed. So, shout out to all the fat heads there.
Did
We're so
you
jealous of Maddie's little head.
did you have to wear a dome thingy?
Helmet.
Not a
No,
helmet, but like, like it looks like, and it's a helmet but not a helmet, like to help reshape your head.
yeah, it's a helmet. That's what they call it.
Oh, okay. Like my
Yeah.
sister like wore an actual helmet, like
Yes, yeah, yeah.
no,
No,
like a Viking
a lot
helmet.
of babies actually do, it's sad, but they have to, and it's fine. It helps them reshape their head, and it's all great. I don't think I had to because it wasn't like I wasn't sometimes babies will get like a flat spot in the back of their head, like if they're left on their back too much. And that can
I
sometimes
actually
happen, for a plethora of reasons. My cousin, he's like, was a third baby. So like just kind of not that it was intentional that he was down more, but it just, the shit happened. But he wore a helmet for like a year. And it was like, I have one picture or maybe two because his mom was like, I do not want any pictures taken of him. Nobody is posting pictures of him. Like, I don't want him to like look back and be embarrassed. And I'm like, we
Aw.
love the awareness of the digital footprint because that could be
Yes.
embarrassing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
obviously he looked cute because he's a baby, but you grow up and you're like, oh my God, I don't want that all over the internet.
I saw a girl on TikTok and she was shopping and she was like she put her phone like in like just,
On the shelf.
yes, words escaped me on the shelf. and she's like holding her baby, and she's like, guys, like I just don't get this. And like she turns and puts the baby to lay down, and his head was so fucking flat, and he starts wailing, and everyone's like,
Oh,
your baby's obviously way too much on its fucking back. Like the head was literally so flat. I was like, no.
oh, that's
Yeah,
sad.
it was slightly
Oh,
terrifying. So
yeah. Oh
no
God.
wonder your baby's crying. It's like, get me off my fucking back.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's awful. But you know what? Shout out to the helmets because like think about like even 50 years ago, did they have those? Maybe not. So like shout out to the helmets.
Yeah, maybe they had them, but they weren't like,
They probably weren't comfortable.
oh my god, they probably were like wood.
Oh, or like metal digging into your scalp. Oh, terrible, terrible. So
Uh,
shout out to the fat heads and if
the
you are a
flatheads.
helmet baby, the
What
helmet
is
baby, the
fat and
flatheads and the fat
flat?
heads. Shout out.
Uh,
Um, we're gonna dive into this because again, we talked about this. Extended cut is on YouTube. We got to keep this one a little bit short and sweet, as you guys know. Shout out Sabrina Carpenter, short and sweet tour. Don't know why that came in my head. Sometimes it's just a stream of consciousness flows out of my mouth, and I don't know where to stop talking. Let's dive in to your hot list of hate, or do you have anything else you want to drop before we talk about that?
no, but if well, I guess the extended cut. If you if, blah, 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 here, if you have 25. Okay, third time's a charm. If you have 2025 goals, you need to listen to the extended cut.
Yes.
I was working on my own business 2025 goals, and then this question was positioned to like, this is what you should think about when it comes to your goals. You need to listen to the extended cut. Maybe we'll put the extended cut
Let's
link.
do a little bonus right here.
Well, no. I was going to say the link here, so that in the show notes, whatever.
I'll put it, but I also just inserted a bonus. So
Okay.
you're welcome, you guys.
Wait, what do you mean? You want me to brief it?
No, after, oh my goodness, this, you guys are seeing how the sausage is made. After we record the bonus cut and it goes to YouTube, I'm going to insert a 30-second clip right where I said I'm inserting it here.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. I'm just catching up. Okay, so if you were planning 2025 goals, you need to listen to that. My mind, after this question was like asked, like I was in the shower and I was like going through like, oh my God, this, that. And it's
Mm,
just, it brings in a different kind of energy other than like, what are my goals? 1, 2, 3, right? It
yep.
like puts it all together. So make sure you watch it over on YouTube and subscribe and like the video. And yeah, so hot list of hate. It's just a good one. And it actually happened to my sister, and they were talking about grocery shopping. And, we are big advocates, Allie and I, of grocery shop wherever you want to grocery shop. Right. I think
Hmm.
like maybe like back in the day, we thought you had to grocery shop somewhere fancy in order to eat healthy. Right.
Hmm.
Or we also thought, like I used to hear all the time, like I can't afford organic, like I can't buy vegetables. I'm like, bitch, buy regular vegetables. I buy regular vegetables. Like
Yeah.
very few
Yep.
things that I actually buy organic, and maybe in a couple years when I want to prioritize organic groceries, I'll buy them. But like I don't let the price of groceries stop me from just buying my fruits, my vegetables, meats and all that good stuff. Anyway, so I think we used to have this like idea you had to shop at Whole Foods, you had to shop
Hmm.
at Trader Joe's, even though Trader Joe's just like processed shit anyway. But I think
I
Trader
love
Joe's is
Trader
overrated.
Joe's. Mm.
Anyway, not to come after Trader Joe's and all the lovers, but we used to think that like you had to be that way, right? Well, my sister was talking about buying groceries with someone, and she was like, "You shop at Walmart," and like
Okay.
totally shamed them for shopping at Walmart. Like when I'm in Denver, I'm here in Denver, I shop at Walmart. What's wrong with shopping at Walmart? There's literally nothing wrong shopping literally anywhere. It's a fucking apple's an apple, whether you buy it at Whole Foods or whether you buy it at Walmart. Like I literally would buy the same things at if I bought the same things I bought at Whole Foods at Walmart, it would probably be more expensive at Wal or at Whole Foods.
No shit. It's like
Right.
so marked up. And
Right.
I,
It's just marked up on purpose. So go ahead.
okay, so two things. Um, when I was in high school, my chemistry teacher, she used to work for Food and Drug Administration.
Ooh.
And she was like, of course, things probably have changed since then, but she's like, for a truck to be marked organic, it only has to be 60% organic. So you could, so 40% of the truck is not organic food. Like it's not organic strawberries, not organic apples, whatever. So she's like, so you go to the grocery store and you don't know, like it's a certain regulation. So it doesn't have to be 100% the whole truck
Mm,
organic. So that's number one. So I was always telling my mom, I'm like, you don't need to buy things that are organic. And like cocaine is organic. It doesn't mean it's good. You know what I mean? Like I always go back to that. I remember my one of my professors in college, shout out, don't remember his name, but I loved him. He would always say that stuff like that because he's like, people spend so much extra money for the labeling and the marketing of it all because there's a perception that it's better for you. So that's
yeah.
number one. Number two, a lot of the trucks that deliver to certain stores deliver to other stores. So like a Walmart truck could also deliver, like it could be coming from the same A over here. A delivers to Walmart or Aldi or Roach Brothers or Wegmans. So people just get real shamey with food, and that is not
I
okay.
know.
Not
I
okay. What
know.
did your sister say?
I think it was just so caught off guard, right? So we're just like, okay, next, like I
It's
think it was just like,
2024. Why are you shaming me for Walmart?
I know. And it's like, yeah, like two things. Like I always say like I don't let money hold me back from investing in my health. But if you want to invest more money, let's say in training or building your home gym or whatever, you can not buy organic groceries and be
Yep.
just fine, right?
Yep.
There's lots of ways to like manage what you're putting in, like how
Yeah.
many freaking girls tell me, oh, I'm paying for Orange Theory. It's like $300 a month. Okay, let's quit that because that fucking sucks anyway. And now let's actually have a workout program that makes sense for you and builds you muscle, right? So it's just allocating resources to where they need to go, not into things like organic. And yeah, number two, like, F her for saying that. Like, I hate people on their
It's
high
just such
horse.
a weird elitist thing to say.
Yes,
Like,
yes, yes.
okay, and like,
I
do you
was
want
like,
a fucking medal?
yeah, like, okay, here's a stamp. Good for
Yeah,
you. And
like,
you shop at Whole
ugh,
Foods.
goodbye, goodbye. The best gluten-free bread, like the best tasting and like price-wise, because gluten-free bread is so expensive and half of it does not taste good, is the one I get at Walmart. So fuck
I
you,
got one at
lady.
Walmart too. Amazing. I think it was like 5 or 6 something for the whole loaf.
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
like I think it's like the Walmart brand, like
Ah,
their signature. I forget it's not called like Walmart brand, but it's whatever their brand is. But like I tried it one time and I was like, I'll try it. I have no idea if it's gonna be good or not. I was like, this is the best fucking bread. And like it's not
mhm,
frozen. So
mhm.
I was like, "Ugh, this is a slay. And I'm sorry, in a lot of places, the Walmarts are really good. Like we have like a super Walmart. So like it's awesome and it's easy. I can like I can do my groceries on the app. I can just go pick it up. They bring it to my car. I'm like, this is great. I do that with, or I go to Walmart or Hannaford's, just kind of depending like on my mood because I don't really notice much of a difference. But you with shaming, why are we doing that? That is, ugh, what
Yeah,
a bitch. What a bitch.
literally.
Does that sum up your hot list of hate?
That's about it.
Wow, you're really positive actually. Normally
Ah,
you're coming in the cut with like multiple things. I would agree. That is my hot list of hate. Why are we food shaming? That is rude and not needed because you're not
right,
better than anybody.
right.
Um my okay, so I texted Maddie and I said for a segment tomorrow when we record, do you want to do nightmare blunt rotation or the cast of Wicked, but like cursed edition. And she didn't really know what I meant by cursed edition. So I had to explain it to her. So if you are a fellow boomer like my Madison, like the cursed
Oh,
edition would be like Jojo Siwa as Fiero or Colleen Ballinger as Elphaba or Danny
oh,
DeVito as um God, what is his name? The Wizard. James goes, Jeffrey Epstein as the Wizard. I go, that is cursed. That is a motherfucking curse.
really?
So we decided I'm doing my Nightmare Blunt rotation.
Mhm.
Um, and I was dying. Like I literally am sitting for like a half hour. I was eating my lunch, I was watching my show, and I'm like, ooh, who can I think of? Okay. So I have four people because I could not. I told Maddie six, and then I said, well, you could do five. I only have four, so that's
Mhm.
fine. Okay. Cody Brown from Sister Wives, specifically when they
Oh.
start leaving Vegas and moving to Flagstaff. There is the biggest turn in that man. Never respected him, never thought he was good as a father or a husband. But you can just see this visual change. Like he's always bugging out and he's always like yelling at everybody. I'm like, so specifically that version of him. I was watching it last night and James goes, "Oh my God, he's an asshole." And I was like, "Yeah, he is." And I go, that's this version of him is in my Nightmare Blunt rotation. He's like, "That's iconic." So Cody Brown, and I'm gonna put pictures on the screen for you guys. So go to YouTube. Carlton from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She was only in it one or two seasons, I think one season, and she was like a Wiccan, but she was so intense. She like hated Kyle, who was an OG. She just gave me the weirdest vibes. And I just felt there was something about her. If I was high around her, I would be like bugging. Like I would be afraid she would like cast like spells on me. And like, I don't know. The girl was crazy. Again, I'm inserting a picture.
Hmm.
Do you watch Bob's Burgers?
Yes.
Mr. Frond from Bob's Burgers.
Who is that one?
The guidance counselor.
I mean, I don't watch it religiously. I've
Oh
watched
my
it.
God. He's the guidance counselor. He's always like on 10. He's always yelling at Louise. He's just like always trying to be so perfect when really he's just like falling apart. He dated Aunt Gail for like a two episode arc.
Mhm.
Being high with that man, I think I would die. I would die. Like he would be so out of his mind. Like there was one episode where like this guy Mickey is like robbing a bank and Bob goes over to like get a bank loan and Fran is in the bank at the time where it gets like stuck up. Like this is a stick up. And it was Mickey with like the pew pew. And Frond is like freaking out and I'm like I can only imagine that guy high. And like that would be it for me. That would be it for me.
Mhm.
And then my number four was Ramona Singer, a la Real Housewives of New York, when she is walking down the runway in like season one, two, or three, and she's like this.
Wait, I did see that.
Like so scared. Can you imagine those eyes when you're high?
Uh,
Like scared,
uh,
terrified. And I told James that. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I remember that." I was like, the woman is scary. If I had to add in another person, I would say Robin Brown. Because her and Cody together are like just absolute nightmares. She is Sobbin Robin. Like she's just the worst. Wouldn't want to be high with her. And then I think this is like so weird, but like, remember at McDonald's, like the little Ronald McDonald like bench, the cutout of like the clown guy?
oh, him.
That if
Yeah.
that could be like a real person,
Oh.
I picture in my head as I'm talking, I just like pictured and I'm like, wow, that would be spooky. Or
Hmm.
even just to see the bench while I was like super stoned. I don't know. I haven't been like high in a while, so that would just scare me. But also you could get a good Diet Coke. So like, you know.
I don't think I've ever had pop from McDonald's
I thought you just
or
said pot.
coffee. Hot. No.
Pop, sody pop. Their soda is the best. Their Coca-Cola and Diet Cola is the perfect blend of syrup. They have the premier blend. Like they pay extra for the best blend.
Do
It's
they?
true. Look it up. Look it up. A Diet Cola from McDonald's, top tier, like up here. Their coffee is Green Mountain coffee, which I think is really good. So
Hmm.
they don't have like dairy-free alternatives, so I would
Uh,
just get it black. But like that's fine too.
uh, I need my
Would
phone.
you rather whole milk or black?
Bitter or diarrhea? Bitter.
Bitter. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah. So, what are your thoughts? Have you been inspired for a nightmare or do you have comments? I also tried to pick people that you might know, but I was just
Uh-huh.
pulled towards all, like, I was just pulled. I couldn't stop myself.
I have for sure too.
Okay.
Um, and I'm there's probably been like multiple characters and things, but I just
Yeah,
can't like remember anyone or
of course.
anything.
The
Okay,
brain ain't working.
the Brandon. First one for sure. It would be like this would be top worst one would be the girl from Saw or what is not Saw the girl from The Exorcism. Yes. No, I literally like I mean they isn't it like a thing she had so many mental problems after that movie? Like, yeah, no, I would die. Like I can't do that. I can't do scary things. So no. And then when you were talking about eyes, I got a vivid memory of like Jax from season, I don't know, 6. Remember the scene where they're talking about Brittany's breast augmentation size and he's like, she's gonna get the biggest one possible, and his eyes are literally
Or him being like, I'm the number one guy in this group.
yes.
I am scared. Yeah, that's pretty nightmare behavior. Or Tom Sandoval. Ugh.
Yeah, but for sure, like Jax and that one. And funny story, Peter, the guy who's like the manager at
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not him in the rotation. I'm just saying off topic.
Peter Madrigal.
Yes, did you know he made a website called the number one guy in the group?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I'm just like fucking hated him for that.
he said I am getting in on this cash cow. And I respect
Oh,
him for that.
number 3, I would say Jojo Siwa for
Of
sure. I'm just
yeah.
not an energetic match for that, and that's fine. It's just not my thing.
No, she's crazy. You know, she went on, oh shit, it's Daniel Preda's ex-boyfriend. If anybody, this means anything to anybody in the YouTube world. She went on his podcast or YouTube show, can't remember what the fuck his name is, it's not coming to me. And he was like, "What's the craziest thing you've ever done?" And she was like, "Well, one time I was high on live." And like Trisha was reacting to it and her co-host was reacting to it and they're like, "No, you went high in a state where it's legal, like and you went on live? That's crazy." Oh my God, I was just dying. But no,
In a
JoJo Siwa
state that's
scares
legal.
me.
Yeah, that's
Scares
3.
me.
That is
And
3.
she's friends with Colleen Ballinger. So like we don't need to like pretend to excuse
Yeah, that's
anything.
freaking weird. Um, there was a 4th one, and it's just, oh, a 4th one would be for people like I get secondhand embarrassment watching American Idol when they like clearly cannot sing. So like anyone who like clearly cannot what?
No, no, yes, I'm like
Yeah,
panicking. Yes.
it's not a specific person, but like anyone who thinks they're like a singer, like it's like the
No,
cringe. And I
no.
know like things are only cringy because like you're afraid you couldn't do that, which is true. Like I wouldn't fucking do that. I can't sing. Um, so that's 4. There you go.
I kind of disagree with that. I'm
Mm.
a pretty good singer, and if I watch people sing and they're so bad, I'm like, there is not an ounce of insecurity. I'm just like, holy fuck, that's embarrassing for you. Because
I
like I
think
like to perform. I am a performer at
right,
heart.
right.
If you don't know that about me. But I
Yeah.
don't know, there are just sometimes, or like if people are like, being an asshole to a server, like I'm embarrassed for that. And it's
Oh,
not out of an insecurity. It's just like you are not acting kind. This is not respectful.
want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
The girl that food shamed my sister about Walmart.
Dick.
How do you think she treated the server?
Horribly, of course. It makes sense. She's a
I That's
shamer.
what I said. I was like, go figure. She was mean to the waiter.
Yeah, because she seems to have this complex. Like, I'm
Mhm,
better than you. I shop at better places. I'm better
mhm.
than servers. Oh, no. Anybody like that, nightmare.
Literally. So yeah, that is my 4. Didn't have
Wow.
one, made it up on the spot. There you go.
There you go. Wow. Yeah. It's such a fun thing to think about. Just like, I love like putting myself in these situations. I'm like, oh my God, how crazy could it be?
Crazy, crazy.
Crazy. I've
We
also,
have to. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
what?
Final thought, and we need to.
Oh, final thought. Okay, first of all, we said 2:35. It's 2:30. So
Well, I knew you
grace
were going to
period.
keep going, so I was giving us that buffer.
I never keep going. Um, I have been in such a weird mood today. Like I cannot stop myself from just like being like goofy silly. Like it's just like I'm like I can't. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's in the air. I just want to be like acting all crazy and weird. And like, I cannot stop doing that. Like, I was
Uh,
voice memoing with a client and I caught myself like talking like that. And I was like, LOL, it's a Friday. You know where I am at.
like
Like,
pull it back
so
together.
weird. So weird. I don't know though. It's like the good vibes, I guess. I'm here
Mhm.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Before we go into the deep dive, and we're gonna talk about I guess like a part two on the New Year's resolution stuff. Was there anything else of oh, you know what I
What?
saw?
What?
James
Oh,
Kennedy being arrested for
I
DV.
did Allie post his girlfriend post after multiple times?
Let me see.
Because TikTok was being messy and pushing her content.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and everyone was like, TikTok was messy for that. So if you
Let me
don't
s-
know who
and
James
just say
Kennedy,
DV because it will get
yes,
flagged
yeah,
otherwise.
James Kennedy is from Vanderpump Rules. He is a DJ. He is a I don't know.
Reality TV
Yeah,
personality.
public figure, yeah. And he struggled with alcoholism and I don't know, taking other drugs allegedly. Who knows? Maybe. I mean, they all were doing something at some point allegedly. Um, but yeah, I got arrested for DV, and I was really, really hoping for him. You know, he was that kind of not. I wouldn't say a cockroach. I would give Jax the title of cockroach, like he's never
Yeah.
dies.
Yeah.
But James was like struggling, doing better, and you know, I was really
Yeah.
hoping for him. Anything update on there?
So both of them have not posted anything to Instagram, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same for TikTok. The
I
last TikTok she posted was 1 day ago, but she tagged Windsor. So I don't know if it was maybe like a partnered post or something that she had to do, but I don't think, I mean, this is recorded on December 13th, so there, might possibly be an update.
mm,
But I hope it didn't say necessarily who the bird. Look at her.
oh, I forgot she was there. She's
Um,
look at her ears all messy
I
because like,
know. She's like, I just took a nap.
come here.
It didn't necessarily say who the woman involved was, but if we're looking at like a domestic situation, it very likely is and was Allie. But as of right now, I haven't seen anything,
Oh,
updated. But I just hope she's okay. I hope she's in a safe place. Um, it's really it's horrible. There's like a disgusting place for people that are violent in that way and that are just like it's just really sad to
yeah.
see because it's just gross. It's just gross. Like another like white straight man just like do better. It's not cool. So I was really sad for her and just hoping that she is safe and in the best situation that she possibly can be because that's not a good situation to be in.
100% agree. Thoughts and prayers, Dally.
Yeah. Shout
Got
out
our
Ali Luber. Hopefully like that's I can't. It's just too much. It's too much for me. So yeah, hate to end it that way, but I had to bring it up because if we're not gonna talk about it, what are we talking about? We gotta call people on their shit.
true that. So
Up.
yeah, we're gonna close it out. But make sure to hop over to the YouTuber and you're going to get your mindset for 2025. So, thank you guys so much for listening or watching Kind of Hot, Kind of Healthy. Please make sure to subscribe, give us a 5-star review, and share with your girlfriend who needs to hear this. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere where you can stream podcasts. If you have a burning question about life, friends, and health, 1 or 2 cents, email us at kindahotpod@gmail.com. That's KINDAHOTPOD@gmail.com. Bye.
Bye. Hello, you guys. Welcome to the extended cut. Here we are. We're going to blow your freaking minds today with
Yes.
all things 2025. I have a hard time saying 2025 because I feel like I'm putting in an extra 20 for some reason. Like in my brain, it feels like I'm saying 2020 25. So I just have to say 2025. Like
Gotcha.
that's been my brain. So,
Brand's been braining.
yes, drop the I guess, mindset shift or just mind being blown while you're in the shower today, listening to a training that we are both in.
Mhm.
Because you are real jazzed up, and this is going to be a good conversation.
Yes. So, first, if you're like, I have no idea what my 2025 goals are, you need to figure those out first.
Yep.
Because you can't do this part without like having the actual goals. So, whether you're setting them in health, whether you're setting them for like finances, like your lifestyle, whatever it is, you need to have the goals first. So, pause this, take some time, think, meditate, whatever you do to figure those out. Now that you have your actual goals, you need to ask yourself, and this is the question that was asked of me in the group that me and Allie were both in, is who do you have to be to achieve those goals? And
Mm-hmm.
it's nice, it's not nice. It's interesting because, it's not, there's other follow up questions you can ask, but like the mental side of achieving those goals is what holds a lot of women back because you can say you want to be healthier and stronger and whatever it is, richer, whatever your goals are. But if you are not mentally acting like that person and also behaving like that person, who do you have to be is mental. How do you act? What do you think? What are you saying to yourself? You will never reach that person because how many people are like, I want to get stronger. And then all they're doing is like cutting carbs and like never eating a goddamn protein,
Mm-hmm.
whatever in their meals or just eating carbs. Shout out my mom who like literally one day she didn't have protein for like 2 days. But it's who do you have to be to achieve that? And like while I was pondering in the shower, I was like, oh, okay, it just makes it so much more sense as you look at what you were doing right now. And I'm like, what I am doing right now and also thinking is not the 2025 version of who I want to be. It's not it's not that person. If I continue with what I'm doing, that person, I'm not going to be that person or achieve those goals.
Mm-hmm. And
Thoughts?
what do you think is the biggest change you want to see yourself make? Because there could be people listening
Hmm.
that are thinking about health goals and they're like, "Well, I am a fairly healthy person. Like I am.
Hmm.
Like that's
Hmm.
how I'm going to reach my goals." What was
Hmm.
that big shift for you? Where like, "Oh, that makes so much sense." That you have to envision yourself as like this different type of person.
Right. So if it's like just be healthier, that's a shitty ass goal, right?
Yeah.
That's what is healthier. Like when women say when we're talking about protein, they're like, I'm trying to eat more protein. How much is more? Are you
Hmm.
tracking? Do you even know how much your intake is? Do you know how much protein you should be eating? Do you know how
Yep.
to increase it per each meal? You have to get down to the nitty gritty because just be IER, healthier, smarter, faster, whatever it is not it's not detailed enough. It's not
Yep.
tangible enough. So for me, like one of my goals was like a financial goal within my business. I was like, okay, what is that person like doing? I am doing X number of things specifically in my business every day. I'm posting on social media every day, right? So if you're like, okay, I want to be leaner. Okay, what does a leaner person do? They hit their steps every single day. Okay.
Yep.
And you look at yourself now and you're like, bitch, you're looking in the mirror. You don't even walk one time a day. Okay. You got to start walking. You got to
Yep.
have a morning walk or afternoon walk, a dinner walk, See, okay, if I want to hit 10K, I take one walk a day. I only get 3,000 steps. All right, let's try two. I get 5,000. Okay, three. I get 7,000. That's how you see you're tracking your data and you see, oh, these are tangible things of where I can increase. So for me, it's
Hmm.
you have to be tangible, you have to be exact. And that was like the biggest thing. Like, and for me, it was like, okay, scrolling on social media is not making me connect to my body more or get more work done. I'm avoiding work.
Right. 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 And it's so important that let's look at it from the health
Mhm.
perspective, right? Because that's the people that are listening. That's probably what they're most concerned about. That's why you're
Right.
here. To get leaner, to get stronger, to feel more confident. Like you said, you have to have tangible steps.
Mhm.
And if you're winging it, you're not going to get there. And
No.
so Today, you might have a hard time hitting 10K steps, drinking at least 100 ounces of water. But that doesn't mean that you have to like wait to become this grand person and to do those things. You have to work it in a way that makes sense. So you're getting 4,000 steps right now. Let's try for six. Let's do six for a
Mhm.
week. Were you consistent? Yep. Okay, so let's do six for another week. Were you consistent? Yep. Let's do six for one more week. Were you consistent? Yep. Maybe now we can try seven or eight,
Mhm.
right? We're looking at it as a staircase and not this daunting mountain. Because for us, health, our health goals are easily approachable. We know
Mhm.
what we're doing, we know how to climb the steps. Maybe at times we get stuck in business and we're like, oh my God, this mountain is fucking huge. And we have to remind ourselves, bitch, go back to the basics. Do what we need to do every day, be accountable, write a daily to-do list. Most of the time, Maddie's and I texts are just fucking to-do lists. I also have this incredible notebook that I love using for this reason because I get to
Mm.
see every day. I'm like, how much is just what am I accomplishing? Like I'm literally seeing things crossed off or highlighted or what have
Oh,
you.
I love that. Example, this is
Yes.
from what day is this from? I can't remember. A couple of days ago.
Yeah.
My dad
Yes.
was like, "Are you an FBI agent?" Because like things
Yes.
are like
Redacted information.
my kill list.
Yeah. But it's true. We have found ways to hold ourselves accountable, to show up, to create a realistic routine for ourselves.
Yep.
And that is what you need to do. That is our reminder here because you want to be the person that feels confident. You can walk in your closet and wear anything. You want to be the type of person that can go to a social event and not feel thrown. You want to be the type of person that knows what they're doing in the gym.
Mhm.
You might not be there today. You're not there today. Let's keep it honest. You are not there today. But to
Mhm.
get there, you got to slowly add in the things. It doesn't have to be an overnight process. And that's what I think is really refreshing about the new year because it gives everybody this sense of the slate is clean. I can
Mhm.
start and feel really energized.
Mhm.
Um, but I think it's important to not put all your hopes and dreams on like losing 20 pounds in January and like doing
Mhm.
dry January and all these intense things just to lose weight. You have to use this reset as an actual reset to do things in a better way. Because
Yeah.
most of you listening right now, this is the umpteenth new year where you're thinking, this is when I'm starting. This is going to be it. This is where the change happens. Um, and it's not going to if you continue to do the same things you've always done. It would be the same way in our business, right? You have to evolve. You have to be accountable. You have to
Mhm.
be open to trying different things. And while that might feel scary or overwhelming, again, it's not an overnight process. You got to take the fucking pressure off yourself. It's not overnight.
I couldn't agree with that more, and I think that's part of what trips women up is that so I literally don't know like any that aren't a perfectionist to some level. I think it all
Oh
lives
yeah.
within us because of
Hmm.
just parenting and like growing up as a child, like as a daughter. I think that's just something ingrained in women, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think that idea of like having to show up, like if you have your 2025 health goals and then you're looking at them like I'm gonna lose 5 pounds and this and that, and they're very like artificial, you could say, goals
Yep.
like
Yep.
lose X amount of weight, and then you don't lose X amount of weight in that first week or first month, then we give up, right? But
Yep.
in reality, if we look at like how I talked about, like who do you have to become, who do you have to be to get to those goals, those are going to go so much deeper. Like example,
Yup.
oh, Gwen just she cries in her sleep. The
Oh,
rescue dog. I don't know if you
that's
heard that.
terrible.
I don't know if you heard that noise. Yeah, she was like fighting in her sleep the other night. I was like, baby.
Oh my
I know.
God.
She was a stray dog. Anyway, um, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So like when I was example, right? If you want to be someone that gets good sleep, right? You're like, okay, not even that. Your goal is weight loss, right?
Yeah.
You may not know this, but sleep affects weight loss 100 million%. Let's say you were scrolling before bed. Okay, scrolling forever, and you're like wondering, why do I like am I always tired when you scroll for like 2 hours before bed? Ask yourself, would the person who weighs less and feels better in their body and is leaner and stronger, would they be scrolling for hours before bed? No, they're sleeping. They're getting restful sleep. They're
Hmm.
recovering. Their body's able to regrow and muscle and mind. You're not waking up freaking hungry for like for oily foods and like chocolate because you need dopamine rush because you're exhausted. No, that person's not doing that. So anytime I'm like doing something that I know is like deviating from the person I need to
Mm.
become to reach those goals, I'm like, bitch, would the 2025 version be doing this? No. Move on.
WWMD 2025. What would, or sorry, WW 2025 MD. What would 2025 Maddie do?
Yes. So I mean, it's so much deeper to that, and
Yeah.
why me and you both always say like losing weight, getting leaner, getting stronger is so much more than just having the quote unquote perfect nutrition plan and quote
Yeah.
unquote perfect exercise plan. So many women talk themselves out of their goals because they are striving for perfection. And when they
Hmm.
cannot give perfection because it's impossible to 24/7, they give up. When in reality, it's just these small steps you take every single day and catching yourself scrolling, catching yourself eating chips mindlessly, catching yourself not going for a walk because you just want to be lazy. When in reality, that version of you that gets to that goal, they're not lazy all the time. They're doing the stuff they need to do.
Right, right. And I think as a visual person, I like to imagine this line in the center is who I want to become. I
Hmm.
might not always be on that line, right? Because not every day is going to be perfect. You could be having a bad day. You
Hmm.
get thrown off somehow. But
Hmm.
if you can bring yourself as close to the line as possible,
Hmm.
you are going to become that person. But every move you make away from the line, you have to look at that and say, I am actively choosing to not be that person.
Yeah.
And that's a hard pill to swallow, right? When you're sitting down on the couch and you just want to scroll, that choice puts you a little bit farther from that person. But if you catch that and you're like, if you literally say that out loud, you're like, I'm scrolling. Yeah, I should probably be walking because that's what I know I need to do. Most of the time, you can catch yourself and say, all right,
Mhm,
compromise. I'm going to go downstairs on my walking pad or I'm going to walk in my house and I'll still maybe I'm going to scroll TikTok because that's where you're at. And
mhm,
maybe in 2 to 3 weeks, you start listening to a podcast or you do something else while walking, but don't shit on yourself for it not being perfect. You just need to get started. And the version of you today that is just getting started, but you're staying close to this line, it might change over months, weeks, etc., but you're still becoming closer to that line.
mhm,
And I notice a lot of times, like you said, a lot of women, they have these perfectionist tendencies. Losing weight, being healthy, getting strong, getting lean is supposed to look one way when they just need to be fucking reminded it is not looking one way. Everybody is going to have an easier time doing certain tasks, harder time doing other tasks.
mhm.
And how do you call it? The doing it, I don't know like what the word I'm trying to say is, but like the action of getting it done and making it happen might again look different for everybody. You say maybe Susie Q needs to go for 3 walks a day outside, but maybe Amy lives somewhere where it's fucking cold. And so the best thing that she's got, 'cause she doesn't have a walking pad, she either goes and walks at her gym or she walks around her house. Both of the things are getting done. They just
Mhm.
look a little bit different. And so I think it comes back around to also not comparing yourself so much to other people and just
Yeah.
focusing on what you need to be. Create the version of yourself, this person of yourself, visualize, right? Manifest it and think, okay, what do I need to do to be her? Not
Mhm,
what do I need to do to be Maddie or Allie or any other person I'm seeing online, but what do I need to do to become this version of myself that I so desperately want to be and that I have been fighting to be for the past several years, but I always seem to miss her. It doesn't actually happen. We got to get curious why. So I love the imagery of it. Like I'm a very visual person. So having that in my head, if you guys are visual or if you're more like a verbal processor, maybe just
Audio.
audio. Yeah, well, I was gonna say like a verbal processor.
Yeah.
Maybe you fucking take out your phone and record a voice note to your future self and
Hmm.
listen back to it once a week, twice a week, whatever you need. Like figure out the way that it's going to stick in your brain.
Yes. And I think it's like also a conversation about like who said it? David Goggins? I don't know. Like taking extreme ownership, right? It's like,
Mm.
we are in the position that we're in because of our own actions, right? And every time you do something is a vote for who you want to become. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
that can be hard to hear because you're like, oh, I didn't choose to I didn't choose to gain weight. I didn't choose for, some tragedy to happen in my family, but you do choose how you respond to these things.
Sure.
And
Sure.
that is where the weight gain comes. That is where the tendency to fall off habits comes. That is where all that comes. So if you just take ownership for literally everything happening in your life, and I know that can be hard because there's probably things that like you really dislike that have happened, right? That aren't fun, right? But take ownership to some degree. It's a lot easier to look at the next thing that you do. Oh, I have full control over how I react, how I decide, what I do from here, right? Great example. Let's say you're like, oh, it's Monday, I'm gonna have my meal that I prepped or my food that I prepped. I'm so excited. And then boyfriend, whoever comes in, they're like, let's go out to dinner, my favorite place. And like they're really excited and then they want to go, right? So you have a decision to make,
Yeah.
right? You're going to go, right? You can choose to say, oh, fuck it. I'm just going to get like loaded fries and not even care, even though I have this goal. Or you could go in and be like, you know what? No, I'm going to stick to as close as I can to the plan. I'm still going to eat there. I'm going to get a salad with, grilled chicken with like some kind of veggie or potato on this, whatever it is, right? But you have that decision to make, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's not like, oh, well, we had to go here. No, you can still pick the next best option. And when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
your goals, like that line you talked about, it's we're not going to be on target. We can pick the next best thing. You could have went from
Mm-hmm.
here to loaded fries to all the way almost at the line, but that's your decision to own.
It completely is. And there is something so vulnerable in women owning that. And
Hmm.
that's the part where I want you all to sit and just sit with it.
Ruminate.
It's uncomfortable. Absolutely. It is really tricky. Sometimes, however, if you are somebody that is looking for change and you want it to last, we have to be honest with ourselves. And I also have this conversation like with James a lot. He's super social, wants to go out to dinner all the time, like just loves being a little social butterfly. I don't really. Like I'm good in my home. Good. But there are some nights where he like will spontaneously be like, "Can we go to dinner?" And so I'll be like, "You know what? Actually already tracked my macros. I've already hit it to a T, but let's go tomorrow." And that's what having a normal, healthy level of communication is. Like, you respect my goals, you understand them, and I'm still compromising. And then tomorrow, I can plan for something. I can look up the menu. I can make a decision. It's a
Hmm.
win-win situation. And I don't sit here saying, ugh, I feel so restricted. I can't even go out to dinner. Or, fuck it, I'm just going to blow it all. It's like, no, there
Hmm.
actually doesn't have to be all this dramatics. It feels
Hmm.
really dramatic because we're not owning it, or
Hmm.
because we're playing this woe is me card when the reality is it's your fucking health. These are your
Hmm.
goals. Like, if you
Hmm.
don't want to own them, if you don't care about them, nobody else gives a shit. Like, you gotta remind yourself of that sometimes. Nobody gives a
100%.
shit that I want to lose 20 more pounds. No one cares. Just literally doesn't matter. Nope, no one cares. I could go walk on the street, they'd be like, who the fuck are you, bitch? But they're important to me because I own them
Uh-huh.
and because I'm like gonna ride or die for myself because I'm like, you know what? I've committed to myself. So you got to
Hmm.
remember that. Like it only is going to happen if you embody that future version of you and if you remind yourself and root yourself into how important these goals are. That's why, again, the fluffiness of like, I want to lose 5 pounds or what have you. It's not concrete enough.
Right. It's like, I mean, you can't want to lose 5 pounds, right? But like, what is that doing for you, right? Like,
And what does
where,
it really mean?
yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Why?
Why do you want to do that? Because if you have frilly, superficial goals, like, you're not going to stay very committed to them. Like,
Yeah.
why do I want to spend less time scrolling? Because I know I'm just dissociating. I want to be more
Yep.
in the world and not just like on
Yeah.
my phone. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think this was a very, very good conversation to like really think about. Like, you're not like, we talked about this, what, last week or sorry, 2 weeks ago? Like, a goal without a plan is just a wish. Like,
Yep.
you have to have a plan, and then when you have that plan, you also have to think about like, who do I have to become? What do I have to do? What habits do I need to like give up? And when you're thinking about all those, bring it back to, it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to wake up and all those things you put who have become you suddenly are. It's going to take time. It's going to be hard, and every time you're like, oh, this is like so frustrating. I want to scroll so bad, or I just want to like pig out. Okay, why? What are you running from? Because those are two things: scrolling and, binging on food. Those are things you're using to cope for something else.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's always coming back to like deeper level, and all the, cookie cutter shit or just calorie calculator shit. They're not going over this stuff with you like me and Allie are. Like, they're
Yeah.
not. Like, we're not blowing smoke up your ass. This is stuff that we work with clients on all the time, and that's why they're successful, because a calorie tracker estimator is not going to work on this stuff with you. They're going to spit you out a number and that's it, and you're on your way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could very well go to Google right now and look up how many calories do I need to eat.
Hmm.
Great, you have a number. Where do you go from
Hmm.
there? Like,
Yeah.
what does that actually do? There's no plan, there is no strategy, there is no support. And for most of you listening, you are completely capable, but you get in your own goddamn way because of this perfectionist comes in it. And that's why accountability is important. That's why support is important. That is why learning how to navigate your goals is important. Because do you want to be the fucking lady that every goddamn year is like, I can't eat this. I want to lose this weight. Blah, 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 blah. And just like everybody starts to drown her out because it's like you have
Hmm.
been saying the same thing and you
Yep.
haven't done anything about it.
Yep.
And that's like where I lose my tolerance because I'm just like, all right, and now it's becoming draining. And
Yep.
I know none of you want to be that person. You want to be the fucking confident bitch over there who's doing the things that she knows she needs to do to feel her best, to be her strongest, her leanest, her most confident, like whatever that is. Like picture, visualize that person of you. My neighbors are so loud. I just heard them screaming,
Oh,
fuck, like
I didn't
very
hear
loudly. I know you didn't, but I'm jarred. Um,
it.
Imagine that version of yourself. And when you do that, then it becomes so much harder to walk away from your goals because now there's a future you that you're disappointing.
Hmm.
And not in a shamey way, but do you want to disappoint yourself? You know, think about that. Think about it.
100% do.
Do you have any thoughts? Anything to close her up with, or do you feel like
Look, that was a good closer upper.
that was everything we needed and more?
Yeah.
All right, you guys, we will see you on the next episode, I guess.
Yeah.
Bye.